Chatterjee, member OREAT Tribunal at Government of Odisha, CEO Forum Chairman Mr. Hari Kumar Sir, Honorary Secretary Mr. Ajiz Khalid, Past President Mr. A.K. Nair, I can see Mr. Murali, and all our members, distinguished guests. A warm good evening to one and all. We have students from Ilahia College. They've been coming here for every Thursday. So this is their sixth class. I think we are having a finishing school. So they are here at the big hall, Lulu Hall. All of them are seated over here. I think maybe in between, Prijit, you can just show them as well. And once again, hearty welcome to each and every one of you. Mr. Malay, Chatterjee, member of OREAT Tribunal at Government of Odisha, believes in strong leadership with participative management for getting the best from all. Presently, as a member, Technical Administration of Odisha Real Estate Appellate Tribunal developing relevant regulations within the framework of the Act, keeping in the interest of all stakeholders in mind. He has a vast experience in different sectors such as urban development, steel industry, iron ore industry. After he took over, he turned around HCL into a profit-making company. Today, he will be sharing with us experience of different industry and different sectors to us. We have our MC member and CEO Forum Chair, Mr. K. Harikumar Sir, MD of TCC and Malabar Cements with us, and he will introduce the speaker and will take the conversation, and have the conversation with the chief guest. May I request Mr. Harikumar Sir to take over?
Thank you. Thank you, President. Thank you very much. Good evening to all. I have great pleasure in welcoming you all to the second CEO Forum meeting. And I'm only happy to introduce Mr. Malay Chatterjee, a close friend. See, while there could be many people who have excelled in their own sphere of activity, Mr. Chatterjee is one person who has excelled across sectors. As his sphere of activity was not limited to one, as explained by the President, he has excelled across sectors. And to begin with, he is a graduate civil engineer from NIT Srinagar. He worked with National Water Development Agency and has done water balance studies. That is how he began his career. From there, he moved on to Huduko Housing and Urban Development Corporation, where he was dealing with urban development projects for creating many human settlements, which I would be asking him, of course, but that is something which is not known very much in Kerala. He was also in charge of projects for relief, rehabilitation, and disaster preparedness. Basically, these activities take a lot of importance, especially in the eastern states like Odisha, West Bengal, and all that, which are basically prone to a lot of natural calamities. And as you know, HUDCO, that is Housing and Urban Development Corporation, mission is to promote sustainable habitat development, and that is to enhance the quality of life. See, one should go and see the life in those parts of the world to understand what exactly the contribution done by organizations like that, and what is the importance and what is the thrust they are giving to increasing or improving the quality of life. See, after a successful career in HUDCO, he moved on to HSCL. HSCL stands for Hindustan Steel Construction Corporation Limited, which is a PSU under the Ministry of Steel. And that was when the company was sick and reeling under a lot of debts. See, that time when he took over, we will ask him, of course, as to what he did and what he turned around. But to introduce him, I would limit only to that. And from HUDCO, from HSCL, he moved on to manage KOCL, that is Kudremukh Iron Ore Company Limited, which is basically, I think many in Kerala would have heard about it at least. And the company, when he took over, had a huge, vast infrastructure, and basically it is a iron. The job is to convert iron ore into pellets, and that company had a huge manufacturing facility, but it had absolutely no access to mines because the mines were ordered to be closed by the orders of the Supreme Court. So they had a facility to manufacture. He had a lot of people working with him. He had a huge infrastructure, at the same time, no captive mine. So that was a big challenge because the entire raw material source was flood. So he had absolutely no source to raw material. See, actually, when we are talking about moving across sectors, as I just explained, from a financial institution, basically an organization, to extend finance, he moved on to a project management consultancy, which was HSCL. From there, he moved to a manufacturing company. And from there, he moved to become a judicial authority and is currently the member technical and administration with Odisha Real Estate Development, Real Estate Appellate Authority. And that is why I called it a steering across sectors, because he has moved across sectors, he has worked across sectors. And KM is extremely glad to have a multifaceted personality who, I would say, have excelled in every single sphere where he has worked. And welcome, Mr. Chatterjee. And I think we can start this session. We can start the dialogue. In case you have anything to say, you can say, and otherwise we'll move on to the dialogue. You're on mute.
Thank you so much, and so kind of you for giving so many flowery words in my favor. And I don't know whether I deserve it or not. And thanks a ton. Yes, in fact, I graduated as a civil engineer and moved across, as Mr. Hari has said, moved across various sectors. And it will be really a pleasure to have a dialogue and discussion what I did, and had an opportunity in steering also the companies I have served. Among that, the biggest tenure has been starting as a central services cadre in Ministry of Water Resources. I have served 1.5 decades in HUDCO. Has been a very satisfying career projection from that point of view. With that, I can definitely answer all your queries and all. To start with, Kerala, all the people must be knowing HUDCO very well, because the name of HUDCO is synonymous and very much associated and popular in Kerala, as we promoted cost-effective building technologies and building materials under the guidance and aegis of Lorry Baker Technologies. And one of the movement which one of our ex-CMD, Mr. V. Suresh, was instrumental in propagating cost-effective building technology and appropriate technology for making housing as a cost-effective proposition through use of appropriate technology promoted by Lorry Baker. And with that, let us, I open the forum for discussion to me, Mr. Hari, to answer all his queries.
So thank you, Malay. See, you were talking about HUDCO. See, what exactly is HUDCO? For the benefit of all, let us start from the very basic. Right. What exactly is HUDCO, and what is its size, and what are the stated objectives? So you talked about, basically, initially you started about housing projects and all that, but what are the stated objectives, and what was your role, and what are the challenges you faced in HUDCO?
Yeah, housing being one of the important subject of the state government, and land being under the state laws, housing promotion of housing agencies under the state government of state housing board, having no dearth and access, having stringent access to resources, and they are deprived of cash and capital when the country started developing housing sector through housing boards. But this is the time when HUDCO was set up as a central apex housing promotion agency, and to promote these housing agencies, to cater to the mandate of HUDCO to having housing for all. Today, after 75 years of independence, you find housing is still a problem, and we have Prime Minister's Awas Yojana to cater to the need of the housing problem of each individual, and to have to cater to lower middle class, lower income group, marginalized society. These housing promotion through central agencies and central program was only possible with the mandate and support and facilitation of HUDCO. So I being associated with HUDCO from 90s, wherein I saw virtually the balance sheet size swelling from 20,000 crore to 50,000 crore. Today, HUDCO is a premier Schedule A Ratna company promoting the mandate of Government of India in catering to housing and urban infrastructure needs. Subsequently, along with housing came the infrastructure need, where mega infrastructure projects were taken up in the sizes of a few thousand crore, like water supply, ring roads, mega sanitation and solid waste management projects. These sort of urban infrastructure projects to cater to the urban need of the state was not possible for the state to support with the state budget. And herein came the role of HUDCO in promoting urban infrastructure. And as regard human settlement is concerned, you see mega, before the building laws or the builder to came in, it was only the promotion of the state and the state agencies like development authorities and housing board, which were only prime agencies, those who are promoting housing and infrastructure, taking up HUDCO finances and HUDCO facilitation. Government of India subsequently also being brought in Jawaharlal Nehru Urban Renewable Program, Housing for All, then Integrated Housing and Slum Development Program. These are all dedicated programs which came up by Government of India, Ministry of Urban and Housing Affairs. And these programs was only possible to take up the mandate and aim and objective of the Government of India to the state, to the grassroots level, only through an agency like HUDCO, having its networking of offices all across the country and promoting cost-effective and appropriate technology to make the housing a reachable target through an appropriate technology proposition to networking of building sectors.
I would want to ask you one thing, which could be very elementary, but for the benefit of all. See, HUDCO used to get funds from the government and give it to various state governments to implement various programs mandated by the center, right?
Yes, sir.
And if that is the case, so basically, who used to decide which program is to be funded?
Actually the state government is the state. Every state has a housing and urban development ministry or a agency or a department. It is the department which need like when there is a scarcity of the program, there is a dire need of, like water supply is there. We have in central water supply mission, and then in mission mode, HUDCO funds the housing water supply projects of the state government, like taking up and laying up mega water supply from the river head to the treatment plants. These need lot of funding, and these funding was possible only through assistance. HUDCO do get a access to Government of India cheap and appropriate fund, and these funds are also mixed match with middle class and higher income group to give the benefit of this funding to the economically weaker section people and priority sector. Like lot of the urbanization also saw lot of slum dwelling coming up, and lack of water supply, lack of sanitation there. So a dedicated program like Integrated Housing and Slum Development Program came up with the ministry, wherein every state government posed their projects to the Government of India, Ministry of Urban Development, and thereby they got the funding and the ratios also depend upon 20%, 80%, depending upon the requirements. So this is how they got an access to the chief fund as well as the Government of India contribution, which are specific to the program. These are some of the dedicated program, and during my time, it was housing had an emphasis. But last 1.5 decades, other priorities have also come, like disaster management. Today, you see, due to the rise in the population level and the climate change, we are facing lot of problem like the disaster, like cyclone, tornadoes, and other climatic hazards, which are not coming, which are accidental and all of a sudden. And these the disasters need lot of mega housing program and housing assistance from all point of view. I was instrumental in one of the program when the super cyclone came in Odisha in '99. There was a total disaster of men, services, housing all over the country, all over the state, considering 13 to 14 districts along the coastal belt. And each and every housing stock was moved, destroyed. And we came into assistance with their economically weaker section housing, and we funded them more than 5 to 6 lakh, 3.5 lakh to 6 lakh beneficiaries. Besides other programs, there was also a assistance, Government of India assisted each MP contributed 10 lakhs because all the schools were destroyed. We created a school network of 300 schools almost under the State Disaster Management Authority. We got the information and mandate from the state, which are the schools destroyed. We recreated all those schools, retrofitted it, and strengthened those schools. And at the end of the day, we gave them an insurance package of 10 years. God forbid another cyclone comes, they get the insurance policy redeemed. So this way we came up, disaster, Bhuj disaster came. We came to a big rescue to Bhuj disaster with a huge package. I had the instrumental in visiting earthquake affected Uttarakhand, active areas of Uttarakhand and Badrinath, wherein we set up building appropriate technology, material centers like building centers, dedicated building center, which you are producing cost-effective building material for these economically weaker section people to use their appropriate technology to use cost-effective building material for recreating their housing stocks. So this way, of late, we have a big emphasis from ODCO to recreate the housing settlement and housing stock which are affected by disaster with big packages and help to the state governments.
So basically, you extend the funds to the state government, and then how do you get the money back?
Sir, basically all the either a scheme is beneficiary oriented or a scheme is state. The mandate of the state government is to recover the money from the beneficiary. Those are even for the beneficiary of economically weaker section housing. So these funds are recouped, and state budget, they have budget provision wherein we fund the projects under state government guarantee. But nowadays state government guarantees are also becoming scarce. So there are also collateral backed and cash flow based projects which are we sanctioning. In Kerala, we have sanctioned a urban transport scheme wherein the transport, all the like Punjab and like Kerala, all the transport system were augmented, were replaced by new cars and new buses. These revenue collection comes to a escrow account, and through this escrow, the new mechanism escrow, the fund is repaid to the by the state government to the to ODCO.
So basically talking about the JNURM scheme.
Yes, under JNURM scheme, the transport sector came up, and even HUDCO is funding MRTS, metro rails. Today, urban infrastructure project, whichever you think, HUDCO is there to, like ring roads, In national highways also, some of the connections, some of the connect sectors, and we have funded few state government like Punjab, and toll gates have been funded, toll roads where the recovery is easily available. One of our first project was in Tamil Nadu, was a toll road. We with ILFS, we funded that project, and that project is paid back. So all innovative project which has a recovery mechanism, which has got a payback structure, we fund those urban infrastructure mega projects.
But how do you ensure that the projects are well implemented? Why I'm asking is, see, the JNURM, the buses which were funded through JNURM scheme, now virtually all buses are in the workshop because nothing is seen on the road. Because basically, at least in Kerala, they started with all the low flow buses and now you can't see anything on the road. Number one. Number two, actually, when I was heading HAL, that time we used to hear about a water supply scheme under HUDCO and all that. For the last 15 years, we have been hearing, but I don't think it is anywhere near completion. So extending money is one thing, but how do you ensure that it gets implemented?
This is right, sir. The projects are normally analyzed, and we have in HUDCO also we have a multi professionals, those who analyze the project from project, legal, all angle before we sanction such project. Even for a electricity, after the electricity got segregated into generation, distribution, and supply, we have funded mega electric projects in Odisha also, in other states also. So here normally we see that the projects are analyzed, and also we see the organizational structure who are into implementation mode. We have lender auditors, we have escrow account to ensure that projects are timely completed, and few of the projects, because lack of state support, lack of state monitoring and implementation, get delayed. Once the project get overrun, the cost overrun comes up, and those projects, once they start lagging in time scale, they start lagging altogether towards completion. As regard, you said some of the projects like transport project, normally our part of the recovery must have come back, because we fund around 35, margin money of 35 to 40%, which is required by the state to procure these buses. So these state government has got a mandate, like see Bangalore bus regional bus transport company, they run it so well. Even in Tamil Nadu, the things are running is well. Some of the states where the implementation procedure is not strong, there are no manpower to monitor and implement the project. There we see that a fallout of this wrong implementation and cost overrun.
See, HUDCO, from the very name itself, there is an infrastructure part, and the government also is giving lot of boost to infrastructure. Yeah. See, can the state of Kerala benefit from the various infrastructure schemes of HUDCO? And can the private enterprises here, I'm not talking about the government, okay, you keep funding to the government is okay, but can the private entrepreneurs develop, can work together with Mr. HUDCO, together with HUDCO? And how? What is the modus operandi?
Right, sir. Normally, off late, what I heard, they have some stringent rule in financing private sector, but in a decade back, we have heavily supported some of the mega infrastructure company for their toll road, like for implementation, which has got concession agreement, repayment backed project, remunerative project. Those remunerative projects we analyze at our end through our professionals, employees, and battery of manpower. A team is there which Adani's first project, which was Mudra project, was funded by HUDCO. Similarly, many other private sector, we have funded textile mills in Madhya Pradesh. We have funded power project which have self-generating power independent units. So these are some of the power private sector had also availed HUDCO finances in creating the infrastructure in the government, in the country.
Thank you. First of all, let me acknowledge the presence of Mr. B.B. Patnaik, who is a friend of both of us.
Yes,
And
yes.
he was our CEO Forum speaker last time. So welcome, Mr. Patnaik, and a pleasure to have you here.
Yes, yes, yes.
Acha, let us take the dialogue forward. See, let me ask you, what is the methodology? In case somebody wants to get some funding from HUDCO, what is the way forward? How he has to go about?
Sir, every state has got a regional setup, and it in small state has got a development office in HUDCO. HUDCO also reach out to individual finances under a scheme called HUDCO Awas Yojana. So this is like a all other PSU banks extending loan to individual beneficiary. HUDCO also lends. So every state capital we have an office, and there are HUDCO disseminate and make awareness about our project financing. And these we have a handful of good dedicated manpower officers, well qualified IITians, good financial experts, and these expert manpowers, they analyze. They also come for workshop. We have a training and management settlement institute. We have a HSMI, Human Resource Management Institute in Delhi, wherein we run courses taking up your state government officials, private individuals, in building up their capacity, awareness and knowledge how to access this HUDCO. But I have left HUDCO since 2008, and since 2008-9, much of things water have flown, and HUDCO is also a company which has sold, which is into the market also. HUDCO shares are purchasable now. So much more things have also improved, which may not be very appropriate for me to disseminate at this level, at this juncture.
A lot of water has gone under the bridge. Let us forget about it and let us move on. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
See, now from HUDCO, you moved on to Hindustan Steel Construction Company. And as you said, the company was facing closure. The company had a huge debts. Employees' salary was not getting paid. What exactly did you do there?
This is one of my finest assignment which I have, because Hindustan Steelwork Construction, when I took over, he had a retiring manpower. Almost all the engineers are towards reaching their 55 to 60 years. And one of my questions during my PESB interview by the secretary to me was that, Mr. Chatterjee, most of your officers will be at the age of 58, 59, how you are going to administer. So I still remember the reply I gave. I said, sir, when you select a bureaucrat at the age of 25 and make him a district magistrate of 28, how you administer a district and get your job done. So he was impressed with the answer. By the way, when I went there, almost 36 months salaries were not paid, because the golden handshake money which has come from Ministry of Steel has all exhausted with the manpower already having gold separation scheme. The other redundant manpower which was having, they were not able to take the VRS scheme because the money was not available. And subsequently, I was instrumental in generating some resources to give some of the building golden handshake to some of more manpower. And these manpower, those who have retired, retired with a huge salary backup, they were also adding to the ooze of wage bills. And during those tenure, one of the major thing I did was that I infused some new manpower, new vibrant expert manpower through outsourcing market as sectorial leader. Then we diversified. We took various board and approvals, and government agreed that in order to HUDCO to survive, we need to diversify. So I diversified the company, which was earlier founded to assist the state-owned government and the state-owned steel plants to complete their steel plant project. In the 50s and 60s and late in 70s, all the steel plants that has come up, Bhilai, Durgapur, all those plants that have come up, they have come up with the assistance of HUDCO, HSCL. And HSCL manpower was expert manpower, which has taken up these projects as capex project and completed the steel plant. But after the completion of the steel plant, the work order and the were not there, and a huge wage bill were there. The turnover which we are doing was much less than the the turnover which we are doing was much less than what was our wage bill. So during this period, we took when I came in the helm of affair, I took a conscious decision that we need to diversify. Since we are a civil engineering background infrastructure company, we need to diversify. So we diversified to all other sectors, and we took a conscious decision to get into all sectors, having a sectorial expert. We, whatever wherewithal and knowledge we lacked, we hired those expert manpower from market with the justified packages and put them as assisting leaders or associate leaders, and took up project management consultancy job. There were many organizations, those who doesn't have a backup to execute their projects, because today, you know, as you have been in the public sector, for executing project, you need 3 C's to be taken care of. So these CAG, CBI, and CVC, all this mandate, all those norms have to be satisfied and have to be as per order in order to implement a project. Most of the people, most of the organizations, those who did not have the knowledge and experience and exposure into project implementation, they all relied upon PMCs. So PMC in the beginning gave us a big impetus. Then subsequently, there are several programs of government like Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, like this Navodaya Vidyalaya. They were expanding all over the country, but these organizations doesn't have wherewithal and the knowledge and the procedure to implement such projects. And huge funding is there. So we took up as a major implementing agency for Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, and each project was almost 10 crore. So we took up this construction of the schools, and in a record time we completed. During my time, I have completed more than 80 Kendriya Vidyalayas. So each Kendriya Vidyalaya is more than 7 to 8 crore rupees. So with the PMC of 7 or 8%, it justified our manpower strength, our wage bill. So we started, our cash flow started hitting in. And similarly, Labor Ministry came up with huge hospital projects. Each hospital project came up for 1,000 to 800 crore. And except for NBCC and 1 or 2 other mega Government of India infrastructure company, no other company had the knowledge and the experience to execute such project. We came forward. We completed one of the biggest project of your Labor Ministry with 1,200 crore hospital project in Karnataka. Similarly, we completed many other projects which run into several hundred crore. But during my time, one of the emphasis was also to complete the project. When I joined, I saw most of the projects were not getting completed in time, and time overrun was there. And because of the time overrun, cost overrun, there was loss. And these projects which we analyzed for particular project started giving losses to our company. So I took up in one project mission mode to complete all these projects in the steel plants, in NTPC, and in a period of 2 years and 3 years, I completed all the projects with loss, profit, whatever it is. And so it did not have a loss hit to my balance sheet. Subsequently, I took up projects analyzing which are profitable to us and analyzing a particular time schedule to complete it. So this way, and as well as we had a particular we had a financial model in place so as to monitor the cost and financial expenditure into the project. That started giving us result, and with sectorial expertise and with engineers in role, we saw that most of the central agencies and government agencies started inviting us to award project to us, which we completed in record time. And that way, and also the balance sheet, which was earlier languishing with a debt burden, we hived it off with the intervention of Finance Ministry, and HSCL came out as a profit earning PSU.
So thank you. Mr. Chatterjee was talking about a very, very good management lesson for the benefit of the students. I'll just put it in the perspective. See, he was talking about leveraging the strength. See, the company had a strength of being a public sector unit, though it had its own problems. So the company leveraged the strength of being a public sector unit. It also understood that its core competency is in civil engineering. So basically, they concentrated on civil engineering projects. And first, in case they didn't have the expertise, they also sought external help so that the company could deliver whatever it was intended to. And then first focus was to fill the order book, and next came delivery on time. So once all the people are engaged, automatically the company profile will increase, the company bandwidth will increase, and the company will also become more visible. And then he focused on delivering on time, so that the confidence of the customer, the confidence of the government agencies, or whoever it is, whoever is his clientele, the confidence of the people to entrust the work to the organization also improve. So with that, an organization which was not doing well, he could turn around, right? Am I right?
Very right. Very well put forward.
So thank you very much. Actually, it's a management lesson. See, actually, when all the students who are present here, you will also be going through, because all organizations need not be doing very well at all given time. But when an organization starts doing bad, one should understand what exactly is the strength of the organization and how you can leverage the strength, because you cannot leverage your weakness. You have to leverage the strength, and how you can leverage the strength, and how you can fulfill the commitments made to the organization.
That's right.
And once you make the commitments, you start fulfilling the commitments, automatically the credibility of the organization will improve. See, actually now, see, he was working in a public sector, but now many of you may not get jobs in a public sector. It can more be in the private sector. And with the competition increasing, more challenges will come. So the idea of bringing in people with so much of experience is to make you people understand that how the challenges can be met and how individual people have met these challenges. So let us move on from HSCL now. See, from HSCL, he moved into a totally different issue. Yeah. Probably, I think you must have been thrown from the frying pan to the fire. Yes, because you had an infrastructure facility. It was a scheduler company with much more visibility than HSCL, because HSCL was more in the eastern India. Yeah. Well, Kudremukh had more of a pan-India presence, though it is located near Bangalore and all that. You had a huge factory, you had a facility which was probably started with Indo-Iranian tie-up and all that. But then you had no access to mines. And then you had a huge facility, and you had a facility and you had no access to the raw material.
That's right.
So then probably the morale of the people must have been low. the expectations of the government also, we don't know what exactly were the expectations from you. So what was it like?
Kudramus is absolutely a different exposure, and altogether a 360-degree turnaround, in the sense that I moved from a infrastructure company or project monitoring company to a production-oriented unit. So that when I joined, my mines were closed. Mines, Kudremukh, we had a huge mining facility wherein we demonstrated the best practices of mining in the Asia, and we had a collaboration with the Canadian government wherein we were beneficiating magnetite ore to magnetite ore and using this as later on as a pellet. So this huge township of more than 2,000 quarters, along with the mining facility and the minings at Kudremukh, had come to a standstill and a halt on the embargo from the Supreme Court, which totally lost our relevance as a mining company. And here also I saw the three good things about having seen that very good manpower available. I utilized man, material, and machine minutes. So I laid emphasis on manpower and the material available and the minutes and the time frame I am available. After closure of the Kudremukh mines, we during the Kudremukh beneficiation days, we used to have of late we have a export oriented unit at Bangalore, wherein we are producing iron oxide internationally reclaimed grade, and we are earning foreign exchanges for the country. But there was a total material scarcity, and we could not access the Bellary material, having the prices not being viable. So I had an analysis done. We signed a LTA long-term contract with a state agency, NMDC, and we were sourcing our raw material, which was very difficult to have a 3.5 million ton pellet plant to run throughout the plant capacity. But somehow we are having the shipment done from Vizag with the raw material to our Bangalore-based pellet plant. And subsequently, I also diversified with the new government as Make in India, where we allowed these overseas people to come up with their ore and use the pellet. And having a huge manpower strength with us, which are almost idle after the closure of the mines, and after giving even golden handshake, the wage bill was very huge. And the plant being not run for plant capacity, 100% plant capacity, the profitability was also low. But herein, we diversified as a agency, as an organization with a operation vertical wherein we take up the pellet plant at NMDC pellet plant, manned with our manpower. So straight away, the manpower costs were contributed as a profit to our balance sheet. Similarly, we took up few more plants at Mangalore refinery, as well as in Odisha also, wherein a quantum of manpower were utilized in running their plant because they did not have the know-how and adequate expert manpower. These manpower contributed immensely as an outsource, as our outsourced vertical in contributing profit to the balance sheet. Similarly, the ore access through the international agencies like Anglo-Indian and all, sourcing the high percentage Fe oxide iron ore fines, we contributed largely to a quality pellets, which was highly acceptable in the market. Today, JSW has their pellet plant, but initially JSW for its plant were sourcing almost 50% of our pellets. So also the SR company. So with these, all of a sudden, the company became vibrant, and the manpower, which was almost idle, started finding time, engagement in running the plant to full plant capacity, either with our own ore or the ore outside, outsourced from the international agencies. The company, and with the persistence of with the Karnataka government, the MMRDA Act came 2016, 2015 Act came, and there is a dispensation category through which a public sector is entitled. So with our persistence with the state government of Karnataka, I could able to get a greenfield mine at Bellary, which is now stage 1, stage 2 clearances are done, will be in the production mode in a year time. So this way, Kudramukh, which had a glory, almost recouped this glory, and the huge facilities, those who are redundant in Kudramukh, through an international bidding, we sold them up, and the entire money, which was also recouped with the plants and machinery, came as a profit to our balance sheet. So this way, we were able to generate a sizable amount of resources in our coffer, and that resources also enable us to have some treasury income. So which year on year basis, with the treasury income, with the outsourced model of pellet plant, and also with our internal resources, there was a foundry grade blast furnace unit which was lying idle, lack of sourcing material. All of a sudden, we rejuvenated it and started producing. So this way, altogether, the company became vibrant, and today I think the company is poised for mega profit.
So congratulations, Mr. Chatterjee. See, basically what we have to understand from here is, see, generally, though we call human resources an asset, in some cases like this, because in a public sector, it is very difficult to get out of the manpower. You cannot get rid of the manpower. So this manpower, this asset becomes a liability sometimes.
Yes.
And especially when a company is facing closure and when the company has no access to raw material, it becomes a liability.
Right.
So this is a classic example of how we liberate that liability, how we could make that liability a strength of the company, how he could tie up with another company and use this manpower in that particular agency, and he could generate revenue out of employees who otherwise were not working.
Correct.
So this also is a classic model, because generally it is very difficult. See, the first and the immediate reaction of people would be just to throw up their hands and say nothing is possible. So once you understand that, and see, actually you also must have faced a lot of resistance, because
absolutely.
Because people were not used to working, so why should they work? And probably you must have asked them to change locations also, right?
Yes, they are very afraid of the transfers and all, and they were because of no work and having a cool life, they were accustomed to idle life. So all of a sudden put them to work on transfer, going on a transfer mode. It was difficult. But subsequently they understood that unless they work, the wage bill is not going to come up. So, and the company, if not in profitable, will be sold off. So in long run, they got convinced, and they accept the transfer, and they reconciled the work life also. We also, some of the steel plant, like we signed MOUs with RINL, and also with MOU with mineral exploration company, wherein with the joint MOU, we are agreeable to set up their pellet plant with our equity and their resources, their land. So some of the MOUs are going to be fruitful in the long run, like RINL is going to set up a pellet plant jointly with KYCL. These will also increase the bandwidth of the company, and company in the long run will become more vibrant. So now that period of the end of the tunnel is being seen, where the dark cloud is away from the sky, and people are also reconciled to working hard. And today we are in need of these all companies like HSCL and all, the new infusion of more new vibrant manpower to sustain them for years to come. So
So
you-
now one thing is, see, we were seeing the closure of mining operation, and everywhere there is a mining, we are finding a lot of public outcry,
yeah,
which we have seen in Odisha, like Malay. We saw the tribal activists working against Hindalco. So mining is coming under a lot of threats. Having worked in the mining sector, what do you think in the future of mining, and what the mining companies should be basically concentrating?
the mining today, the mining has become state of art mining. Earlier, the mining used to be a lot of manpower oriented because of the equipments, machineries, all those which has come to mining. Mining has become more easier and all. And now with the data science and all those scientific development, the theft in mining, raising of the mines, all have become easy. But at the end of the day, today the allotment of mines is a big lacuna there. And today there is cutthroat competition for a mine, and people have hiked the prices beyond their requirement. See, a production-oriented unit has opted for a mining lease, which is not viable. And end of the day, after 1 year, they realize whatever they have quoted is not viable, and they are surrendering the mines. Earlier, the mine which is allotted to the state-oriented units, state PSUs, they could able to raise the mines because these high hopes of revenue are not so stringent, and private sector coming into production unit, they want access to the mines. So all of a sudden they have hiked the prices of the mining and mines. Today the ore in Odisha is much higher than the prices in Karnataka. We can't with the stevedoring, with the cost of transportation, mining ore. If the mining heads, facilitation are not in the mining heads, is not viable. So JSW will be looking for mines in Karnataka. KYCL will be looking for mines in Karnataka. We cannot have a mine in Madhya Pradesh and access the ore to Karnataka. So in the modern terms, state should encourage justified mining resources cost and allot the capability mining to a capable agency, those who have access to production and as well as further reduction of the material and use of the mining ore into the plants for better use of the prices of finished goods.
So thank you, Mr. Chatterjee. So every 4 years, 5 years, you moved into a totally different sector. So probably you have to learn from the scratch. So because from a fintech sector to a PMC to a manufacturing company, and right now to a quasi-judicial body as a judicial authority, what is the message you have to give it to the people? Because there are a lot of students here. What is it that you suggest? Because adaptability is something which I understand from you, because every sector you have to learn new things, because you enter at the very top, you have to learn new things. What is the message you have to give it to the youngsters here?
The youngsters should take a message that every sector has got challenges and every sector is very enjoyable. And in fact, I get monotonous with 5 years in one sector. So I enjoy every tenure of my journey in exploring more avenues and more challenges. And unless you change the sector also, you don't get more challenges. In fact, I was destined maybe for being put up into sector where challenges are more. So also in Hudko, I was regional chief of agencies of the state where the Hudko was not performing well. So I have throughout my career, I have been also in the addressing the challenges very well. The youngsters should be they should be prepared to new challenges, and new challenges give new things to learn, and every learning process is a big accomplishment and satisfaction. They will definitely will not be, and changing of sector not give them the spine to be bold enough to face any casualties in that sector. And today I am in a sector altogether being an engineer, spending a more than 3 decades elsewhere, sitting in a judiciary chair, which is almost a different. I'm having a sore throat, so I will pardon me for the interruptions.
So basically, the purpose of bringing people like Mr. Chatterjee is to give exposure across sectors, because mining is a sector which is not very well known in Kerala. And likewise, many of the areas he was working, and he moved on from sector to sector. So people should get exposed to various sectors, and it should not be limited only to one. So, and in Mr. Chatterjee, we got a 4-in-1, because he has worked in 4 sectors, and he could throw some light into all these 4 sectors. And thank you very much, Mr. Chatterjee. It was a wonderful session. Can I take some questions? 1 or 2 questions are there. Can I take it, or?
Yes.
Sir, please take it, because there are 2 questions in the chat box. If you can just ask these questions.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
I will. The one question is, Mr. Suresh Kumar has asked a question. Though Mr. Larry Baker model housing construction is cheaper, it's more environment friendly and suitable for the middle class. Why is it in Kerala the Larry Baker model did not succeed?
Yes. One of the things is that when you construct a house, you want to pump in all your resources and spend it there, and you don't want to compromise with that. Lorry Baker type of housing models are equally as strong as the conventional type of housing. But people have the mind, the hollow bricks will not stay. And because Lorry Baker came only 5-6 decades back, and the technology came 4 decades back, so people were not having confidence in the Lorry Baker technology. Today it's an established fact. And Kerala, there are a lot of houses which has come with the Lorry Baker technology. Only Lorry Baker technology is a sustainable and durable technology, and middle class, lower middle class should emphasize on that. I found that much of the HIG group and the higher classes are making Lorry Baker houses than these middle class and economically weaker classes. Our chairman CMD Udko has made a big house in Kerala, Tribunal, which is using the Lorry Baker technology only, which showcase how a appropriate technology can be utilized for better architecture and better use. One, Mr. Padam Kumar from Udko, is a towering inspiration in Kerala in promoting these cost-effective building technologies.
Thank you, Mr. Balakrishnan, who is the Senior Vice President, has a question. See, talented people always look for opportunities. And have you witnessed, because talented people are always wanted also, they are wanted by everybody. So have you ever witnessed talent attrition? And if there is a talent attrition, how do you address it?
Yeah, but that is true. When this in Kudremukh also, when we started opening up VRS scheme, lot of our talented people, mining expert and mechanical engineer, were sought after when new plants are being founded and established. And these one of the ways and means is to encourage them in their field, and also to promote them, to send them in international courses, make them vibrant with the technology, and cater to their need and satisfaction also. So these are some of the things you can desist from the attrition of the people. Say a person who is all of a sudden gets a hike in the from Kerala to Odisha, you may see his talent and give him a accelerated promotion, and may not be the remuneration be satisfied as being in the government, so he can stay back and work for the state and the country.
Basically his question was, See, in PSUs, it's very difficult to give special packages and retain people.
So
like
that you cannot do in PSU.
So then what is the extra carrot you can give so that the talent can be retained?
So these, talent, there will be always the attrition of talented people. And you have to replenish them with other talented people. So you cannot stick to one person who will become a, see, in public sector also, you and me have seen CMDs coming and going, directors coming and going, how the company runs. So it depends upon the, it will be an eternal process, and we have to encourage within our framework to keep the team appropriate, right? There are people who are not swayed away by with money only. They are give them recognition and all. They compensate with the money also. So it is not that private sector can attract only. Before I got this assignment, I was having a huge package in private sector, but I forgo private sector to come as a judge in judicial member in RERA appellate.
Mr. Patnaik, you have anything to add, because you were also a very seasoned CEO. So you have anything to add in how to retain the talent in public sector?
Yes, Mr. Patnaik can give some light.
It was wonderful listening to Malay. Of course, we had Hari and me, we had many occasions to have one-to-one conversation. But a turnaround man. Of course, Hari is also known as a turnaround man.
Yes, absolutely.
But Hari has also turned a very, a company which was not doing so well to a very vibrant and well diversified.
Yes, HIL owes him.
Yeah,
Yes.
but Malay also has equally done in turning around HSCL. Particularly, I know about it. Malay,
we are talking about retaining talent.
No, you see, one thing is there. Retaining talent, you need to have a multiple strategies. I don't think anyone, there is a straight jacket answer in doing that. Somewhere, you see, particularly in public sector, the biggest difficulty is that you can't offer a handsome package even to a talented one, because you have the fixed scales and all.
Yes.
But even giving them a job which has a satisfaction level to someone, or giving a job which have a recognition potential for someone, is something motivating an individual to return to the company. The other one is developing the organizational culture itself, where, while you are developing the company with multiple strategy, etc., to become an effective one, if you can change or improve the organizational culture where individuals feel happy to stay with it, being that is perhaps one of the ways. There are several multiple ways of financial, non-financial, motivational sort of things where you can try to retain it. But I would like, now that we have got many management students are there, of course, KMA, you have got many successful management professionals. Malay, I will ask you one question.
Please, sir.
What had been your management mantra in all these companies? A hardcore civil engineering company like HUDCO, to a PMC company like CL, as well as a steel sector or mining company like KOSL. What have been your management mantra, and how could you motivate the very frustrating, highly demotivated group of individuals and professionals in company like HSCL? What could be that? What could have been your management mantra for all the successes that you have achieved, for the management professionals just to take home?
Right, sir. Very
if you can say.
Very pertinent question. A good one for me. Sir, for me, as regard I am concerned, for me, the two mantra is there. One is change, other is self-motivation. I have always laid emphasis on these two. Change, whenever a time has come, I have changed myself. I was in housing and urban development. I felt that I have done donkey's number of years. I need a change. I got a leadership role. I said I am fit for the change. So, and self-motivation, whenever where in a place where I saw that no one is coming forward to work, I myself made it a point that I work for 18 hours or 16 hours during those days. So that self-motivation and change has always been my mantra in this journey.
So thank you, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Chatterjee. Thank you, Mr. Chatterjee. He was basically talking about leading from the front, and he was just conveying that only a self-motivated leader can motivate others. Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Chatterjee. It has been a wonderful session. As we are running short of time, I would hand over the stage to the President, Ms. Nirmala Lilly.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Actually, there is one question in the Vice Admiral Muralidharan asking that. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. Why you have turned around a multiple organization in hindsight as a management lessons? What was
I would really
needed by your predecessors to avoid bringing firms?
Sorry.
That's just it.
Sorry,
That
Mr.
is-
Murli, I didn't see this. I'm
He
extremely sorry.
just mentioned.
I'm extremely sorry. See,
Yeah.
basically the question is hindsight as a management lesson.
Yeah.
What exactly was needed by your predecessors to avoid bringing firms to that stage?
Right.
See, actually that brought in relevance to people like Mr. Chatterjee. You see, unless companies were in that level, there was no entry point for him. Over to you, Malay.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah.
Now, how do you ensure that companies don't deteriorate to this level? That was in a nutshell the question. Am I right, Vice Admiral?
Yes, sir. Would you
How
like to
do you
answer?
how do you raise the level of the company? Right? So,
No, not that. See, actually, you had a lot of things to do because the company was in a bad shape. So
yes,
that was brought in a bad shape by your predecessors.
that's
So
right.
what they should have done so that the company would not have gone into that stage?
Well, how you ensure that company will be sustainable and right?
Right.
So you should lock in the resources in such a way your successor will not be able getting a raw hand. If you give them a flexibility and use to ponder away with the resources of the public sector, then someone who is going to succeed you will ponder away and bring the company again to red, which another man will come to get it revived. So this will keep on happening. It's a continuous process. So you have to, through your journey, through your management lesson and taking it from front, you have to address such a way that you go to Kudramukh, it is one of the most transparent company, if I am to be told. And you open up his website, any tender, any access, any purchases, everything you can access it from the web. So you have to make all your action more transparent so that your successor will not be pondering away with the resources.
Thank you, Malay. I would conclude with only one note. Kindly go and see a doctor and get your cough cured. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was really mesmerizing to listen to all the three. Thank you, Dr. Patnaik, for joining us and then asking questions. It was indeed a pleasure listening to three of you. Thank you so very much, and congratulations to Chairman CEO Forum for the having a great conversation with our chief guest. Ask the most relevant questions from Hardcore to steel to HSCL to frying pan to fire. That Kundramukh iron ore company, and we also got apt answers from Mr. Malay, how to get fund from center to state and beneficiaries, how to get it back, how he implemented projects like schools, hospital, project labor minister, how to finish the project in time bound, steel plants, the mining experience, making in India projects, state of art mining. Now he mentioned it is easier for mining nowadays, and the manpower management. Spoke about challenges he faced to work with the different sectors, challenging and great learning. Then he also mentioned about the student message to student. Every sector has got talent, and every sector is enjoyable, accomplishment and satisfaction. And then the final answer for the the management mantra, change and self-motivation. We could learn a lot from you, sir, that I'm sure that there's a lot of lessons for these management students as well. And it was really become great show with the three high profile, learned, experienced people. So we are really blessed to have all the three. We profusely like to thank all of you. Thank you so much. And then some announcement programs. We will be having a panel discussion that is tentatively on the 27th of October. KMA quiz, that is the quiz is going to happen on the 11th of November. And then 18th of November is our KMA Foundation Day celebration. And then convention is going to be held in January or February. There are a lot more in the pipeline. We will keep you posted and kindly look into your email ID update and just mark your calendar, and please do come and join us. And now with this, I will request our Honorary Secretary, Mr. Ajiz Khalid, to propose vote of thanks, please.
President Nirmala Lilly, our invited speaker of the day for the second edition of the CEO Talk Lecture Series, Mr. Malay Chatterjee, Member Tribunal at Govt of Odisha, Chairman of KMA CEO Forum and Managing Committee Member K. Harikumar, MD Travancore Cochin Chemicals Limited and Malabar Cements Limited, galaxy of past presidents of KMA, Managing Committee and KMA members. Indeed, yet another excellent session in the CEO Talk Lecture Series with such a topic in diverse sectors and a wealth of knowledge. It was great to have such a multifaceted personality who has vast experience of over 3 decades across sectors ranging from urban development, project management consultancy, construction, manufacturing, and finally now the judicial authority. Indeed, he brought to KMA a wealth of knowledge and experience from diverse fields. It was a highly interactive session with Chairman Harikumar sir asking leading questions to Mr. Chatterjee for him to nicely articulate speaker's experience in each sector that he was associated with over decades, starting with urban infrastructure through HUDCO for water supply to challenges in disaster management, then to productive utilization of excess manpower in the steel industry by diversifying the activities of HSCL and leveraging the strength of organization to transform a loss-making company to profit-making. And then to totally different industry in the western coast of our country as CMD of KIOCL, Mr. Chatterjee steered Kundramukh Iron Ore Company to make it sustainable company by closing mines after a golden handshake and diversifying to export of high quality iron petals. Finally, the takeaway for all young managers is that every sector has challenges and there is a lot to enjoy in each sector. And young management students should get exposure to different fields and industries by leading from the front. Indeed, very interesting and fascinating, and I'm sure everyone thoroughly enjoyed the session. Thank you, Mr. Chatterjee, for sparing your valuable time to be here today at KMA and for sharing your thoughts and experience on sharing across sectors. As Chairman mentioned, I only wish get well soon to you and hope your throat recovers soon.
Thank you.
Memento.
Thank you, President Nirmala Lilly, for briefly setting the tone in the beginning and finally wrapping it up so well, making my job today very easy. I congratulate President Nirmala for the variety of programs that we are having this year. Each speaker this year shared with us completely different aspects of management and industry, all of them very important in today's context. I'm sure the members are having a whale of a time getting exposure to a cross-section of sectors, truly multidimensional across industries. Thank you, President Nirmala. Today's session is yet another under the able leadership of KMA CEO Forum Chair and Managing Committee Member, Mr. K. Harikumar. Thank you, sir, for selecting the topic, introducing the speaker, and also warmly welcoming everyone. Sir, you so nicely engaged the speaker in the conversation and extracted the maximum knowledge from the speaker on his wide experience for the benefit of all participants. Thank you very much, Hari Kumar sir. Thanks also to the first speaker of our CEO Forum, Dr. Patnaik, for joining us today. So nice of you to log in from so far away and sharing your thoughts and asking that interesting question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks to all the past presidents, managing committee and KMA members for attending today's session. I would also like to place on record and thank the KMA Secretariat team led by our Executive Director, Lieutenant Jojo Jacob, and his team members, Prejeet, Sandra, and Rexon. Thank you all. You are doing a wonderful job. And also thanks to our program sponsor, Medivision and Varma Homes. They both play a very important role in the success of all programs of KMA. Before I conclude, I would request our Secretary team member, Prejeet, to please share the specially curated digital version of the memento for the speaker. Prejeet, are you there?
One second, sir. I got lost from the
Connection.
So this is only the online virtual version
Thank you.
for you to remember your day today at KMA. It's coming up very soon online. Prejeet?
It will reach him physically, right?
Yeah. The physical version will reach him soon by courier. So remember the talk today at KMA and cherish it lifelong. Prejeet,
So
can you
sweet.
share it?
sir. I got disconnected from the
Okay. Okay. Then maybe we can courier it.
Yeah. No, sir, it has a photograph of your session today so that you can cherish your talk today at KMA. And it is specially curated for you for today's session.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy, you like it, and you keep it with you so that you remember your time with KMA.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think
Thank you.
that.
Thank you, all of you, and
Okay,
specifically
thank you.
Mr. Hari Kumar.
Thank you, one and
Thank
all.
you, sir.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
evening.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
The meeting is adjourned. So let us have.
Thank
the
you, Hari Kumar sir, first.
Thank you all. Thank you all, and wish everybody a happy Diwali.
Yes.
Happy
Diwali to
Happy
everyone.
Diwali to all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Bye-bye
so
and good
much.
night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Really, sir.
So it's such a
You can
diverse industry, sir.
unmute everyone.
From the East Coast to West Coast, and then to Supreme Court. What a experience, sir. Mind blowing, actually.
They're from East. He went to Srinagar, IIT Srinagar, NIT Srinagar to study. From there to East to West.
Students can leave.
Yeah, I think
So the idea was to bring people across various sectors, you see, so that everybody gets an exposure to that sector. Otherwise, in Kerala, we are not exposed to many of these sectors.
None of these sectors, mining is not there, actually.
Exactly.
And even
So idea was at least the students and everybody will get at least a glimpse of the sector.
Yeah, one thing we are seeing this year is a diversity. Actually, it is completely diverse topics each time you're coming, and it is good.
In case there is any other feedback, please feel free to tell me. I have absolutely no issue.
No, it is completely different field, sir. I mean, I think
No, we need people across sectors. No, then only see. Basically, students are there. See, everybody is exposed to their sphere. No,
yeah.
we need to get an exposure to other areas. That's it.
I don't think we have had mining person speaking for us for the last several years. I think that's also and also complete loss making to profit making and closing
It is
down operations.
totally different fields, and it is very informative.
That's right.
Not that
That's
highly
one suggestion, President Nirmala.
Yeah.
When we have students, we should.
They should ask questions. They should ask questions. I told them very specifically they must ask questions. I'm
actually
telling
point to
every
them,
time.
give them 10 minutes. That please
Yeah.
ask questions.
Yeah.
Some may be very
Exactly.
silly, but let them start asking questions.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid. I think we should do that.
Every meeting, I'm telling them you should prepare how to prepare a question, how to ask a question. But somehow they're not.
Make it
Maybe
compulsory.
will help them in the next one. I think.
Make it compulsory.
Yeah.
compulsory.
Yes. Yeah. I have. Yes.
I suggest one thing in that aspect, because somebody asking question the problem which I found that you have an inhibition that whether the students or anybody will ask whether the question will be right or wrong. So that inhibition, the students should avoid that. It may be
Correct,
wrong,
correct.
but
Yeah,
that is my
they are scared.
Other-
that
Very,
is
very true, very true. That is the
yeah, that's
reason
right.
they are not asking.
Yeah,
we
I
will
asked
make them
I
understand.
asked a question about the Larry Becker model, because I have constructed a house in the year 89
Hmm,
based on this Larry Becker model concept.
hmm.
No cost.
And that is at 30% less cost. Then at that time it was about 1.5 lakh for a 900 square feet house. But I could do it at less than 1 lakh. It was in the it was in 89. It's still going very good, and staying inside that house is also good. So, but unfortunately, we have that conservative type of construction, and that's why I put that question and he answered that question.
But the fundamental reasons are in Kerala, we are competing each other on houses.
Absolutely.
That is the fundamental reason.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
borrow money and build bungalows.
Yes.
That
And then
is the
finally you
culture of-
live with your wife, children are abroad.
And you build
Correct.
thinking that you're
Yeah.
going to live 300 years.
And you
Yeah,
can't
right,
maintain
right,
it.
exactly. In
You're not
Larry
maintaining
Becker,
it.
or for that matter, Habitat and all,
Yeah.
they are actually putting life of the house as 60 years. It can go a little higher than that, but we build like arch dams, we build houses, and no one is there to live there. And
Absolutely.
it is only in Kerala.
And everything turn out as emptiness.
Yeah,
true.
correct.
For
So I
example-
really wanted to type that answer, but I did not want to encroach into the wonderful session. That is why.
But
No, that is true.
That's a very interesting topic which you should think about. There's empty houses and elderly
Thank you very
management
much.
of elderly care or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, in fact, we found in Gujarat, where we were involved in some, after the earthquake, etc., people are all willing to move into, multi-storied buildings, multi-storied houses. In Kerala, Algiers, you'll recollect, not one taker for, where we had small, everybody in his 3 cents, 2.5 cents wants individual house. That is some concept that we need to.
For example, somebody lived in Mumbai, they can easily live an entire family in 500 square feet.
Absolutely.
500 square feet. That is more than enough for a family for a comfortable living. And whereas we can't even imagine a house less than 1,500 square feet.
Correct.
And then finally, all these gets sold by the next generation without knowing the real value for it.
Yeah, correct.
They don't have any value for it.
Exactly. And one generation hard-earned money into all these brick and mortar setup, and they are actually selling at a throwaway price.
Overpriced. Yeah.
Even look at the government houses, offices. They are also spending so much money on the infrastructure for the buildings, which is not necessary. All the luxuries. It's a hypocritic way of our government sector that they spend so much money on the housing sector, which in fact is not necessary, and it will become a burden. It adds to the debt of the government. I think that is correct. If you may agree with that.
Thank you, President. I think
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
Happy
you
Diwali.
very much. Thanks. It was
Thank
an
you.
excellent evening. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Harikumar sir, President.
And
Thank you,
happy
sir.
Diwali in
Thank you.
advance to all the.
Happy Diwali to you.
Happy Diwali to everyone.
Right.